lot of false information about the coronavirus. These are the facts. People of all ages can be affected by the coronavirus. However, older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as asthma, diabetes, heart diseases are more vulnerable to the disease. It is not for old people alone. Gargling salt and warm water or chewing garlic and ginger cannot prevent the virus. Drinking alcohol, hot lemon, palm oil or chloroquine will not kill the virus. The virus cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. Antibiotics do not work against the viruses. Antibiotics work only against bacteria. Boiling pineapple peels, lime and ginger does not kill the virus. Putting raw onions in rooms will not ward off the virus. Using or spraying Dettol, special oils and water all over your body cannot kill the virus. There is no scientific evidence that cooking, drinking or eating any of these is an effective treatment for coronavirus. Do not self-medicate and take responsibility by sharing only verified messages from health authorities such as NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health and WHO.
Daybreak Africa is your one-stop top-notch breakfast show that brings you all the interesting stories happening in and around Africa.
Because we have all the morning essentials,
including the latest news, sports, weather, and events. And of course, the people.
Daybreak Africa on Television Nigerian.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Extend that order to Rivers State Judiciary that has made themselves a wicked private company. If they do anything against His Excellency, Right Honorable Chibikaro Tobi Amechi, we are going to burn down Rivers State. Yes. Yes. We are going to shut down every federal agency, every multinational company. We are going to destroy everything and put Rivers, because we will not be alive to see them to be alive to do whatever they want to do against Chibikaro Tobi Amechi. That's all. It is either we all die together and forget about Rivers State, or we harmonize in peace. We are saying it now that it has not happened. Whoever that we sympathize with, whoever should start down. The President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, should talk to the Chief of Army Staff now. Should talk to the Inspector General of Police now. Should talk to DSS now. Should talk to the Chief Justice of the Federation now. To caution Rivers State Judiciary now that it has not happened. Because if it happened, we will destroy everything in Rivers State. And we will be ready to face the consequences. And nothing is going to happen. Thank you very much. That's all.
As comfortable, in as much as comfortable that may sound, the battle of supremacy there, and one may begin to wonder what's been happening with Rivers State over long-standing issues that have been that the River State people have been having with people who have been actually looking for who holds sway to the control of the state.
Anyway, good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Abuja. My name is Mercy Joe.
And my name is Elvis Oga. I would like to say a very big thank you and welcome to this edition of the program, Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria.
All right. So about the video, talking about deaths and what have you...
Death threats and all.
Was that really to the extreme, if I would say?
Yeah, that was to the extreme, because ordinarily the business of people that are in governance is just to make sure that they secure the lives and properties of people. And then for supporters of a particular person to come out and then brazenly and in a very public manner usher this kind of warning, I wouldn't know. You know, we are in a country where we tend to read political meanings or inclination to whatever decision that has been taken by someone who is in power, rather than looking up to or looking forward to what is right or if the right thing is being done. Okay, take for instance, why I'm saying this now is, if the governor of Rivers State or the person that the seeming opponent seems to report this issue, and then arrests are made, because we have faces in the video.
Yes, we have faces in the video, so we can put them by their faces.
And then if arrest is being made, you know that instead of people looking forward to, okay, what they did, was it right or was it wrong, we'll now start reading meanings to, okay, it's because it's from this person's camp.
Yes.
Which is not the right way to go.
It shouldn't have been so, because this is democracy. It's a democratic regime. Now, whichever way, whichever time, whatever is in what favor or whose favor, I don't think that they had the right to actually make this video and actually make it to go viral, regardless. I think it's now that the police operative should even find a way to, okay, you are giving threats to who? We are taking you hostage, and we're going to see you talk. Because sometimes it looks as if these people are being sponsored or whatever. And
then at the end of the day, do you know, there's this thing I don't really tend to understand with the way people behave from around this part of the world, where, okay, you throw your support behind this particular person. At the end of the day, you see both of them, your supposed or your seeming opponent that you try to come against. At the end of the day, you see the two principals come together and they eat together, they dine together, they wine together. That's an enlightening. So, but I know some people might want to come from the angle of there is no smoke without fire.
True,
but
there isn't.
You don't correct a wrong with a wrong.
No.
You correct a wrong with a
That's
right.
going to be the wrong way, because now we're hearing things like that we die together, we live together. No, those are the wrong words.
We keep talking about, if you are aggrieved by the action of anybody, there are appropriate authorities for you to just channel your grievances to, so that the law can actually take its course.
Yeah, we have the law.
That way you'll be vindicated.
Yes. Yesterday before this morning, I was telling Elvis, we're talking about how people are scared to even start their own businesses or big ventures, or probably a supermarket or a filling station. Because I was listening to a story yesterday of someone, he was saying that the person opened a supermarket and then, in fact, the money that his manager looted from that supermarket was able to open another supermarket for him.
For the manager.
Yes, and now we're talking and we're arguing like, okay, does it mean that nobody or no organization is ever going to steal from anybody, steal from the owners? You know, that's like impossible. Most likely it will happen, but then the fact that it should be to that extent that you can even build your own supermarket. You know,
when the anti-graft agencies started their war and they start coming after some individuals, even in the private sector, or when the word corruption is mentioned, most people feel it's only limited to the political office holders or people in governance. But we've seen times without number where people from the private sector actually indulge in so many corrupt practices.
True.
And this is one, like a perfect example of one. So, like you said, it might not be totally possible for you to see someone who is in charge of a business that will have
really
some questions attached to them. But I think I came across a post by Chino Achebe where he was said from his book published in 1984 that it will be very, very impossible, very hard not to see a typical Nigerian come up with some of those things.
Because they call it they call it the Nigerian factor.
But that's actually a very bad one. I wouldn't want us to go with it, because if we can agree, we can change the narrative.
Yes.
But what is basically needed is, because I've attended some seminars before where some people were talking about, okay, you employ this person and then you don't actually remunerate these persons enough. there is that much tendencies or that temptation to go into some hidden acts and all of that. So they were talking about, okay, how about you pay these people well so that they will not even have reasons or excuse to look into.
Now that's even the thing, that's the problem.
Okay.
I think irrespective of even paying them well or not paying them well, they will still. There are lots of people that are greedy, and the lack of contentment.
There was a conclusion you reached earlier, and when you talk about greediness of people, I wouldn't want us to go into that because that's more like a whole topic for discussion for another day. There was a conclusion you reached that I love when you said nobody else can actually take the interest of your business at heart than yourself, or take it to heart than yourself.
Exactly, that's just the truth. But you just know that in your head as a business owner or business startup. But the thing is that you still have to, you need people around to do these things for you. So it's a 50-50. Everything, last, everything is gambling. So.
Okay, major concern for the day.
APC
primaries in Edo State that actually produced the candidature of Pastor Ize Iyamo as the party flag bearer yesterday. But there are actually a series of issues surrounding that.
He's asking Obaseki to set aside anger
and differences
and come back to APC.
But people were not actually finding that funny because if you remember, there was a statement credited to him few days after, or was just immediately after Obaseki left for PDP, when he said the bad egg has decided to remove himself. So asking this man to come back.
That's a bad egg coming back to the normal eggs.
Okay, but there's this other, like I said, there are a series of issues surrounding that primaries. You remember what's been happening with the different faction of leadership crisis in APC, with Gaydom still claiming
party chairman.
Even when we've seen different court injunction interpreting different decisions.
So
we had a court that sat in Abuja that said he is the substantial chairman since the executive chairman has been suspended. But we had another court that sat in Port Harcourt that said no, he shouldn't be the one.
He's just flaunting himself as the chairman, but he is not the chairman.
So yesterday when the primary was going on, I saw a statement credited to him when he was talking about, okay, that the primary is going on is illegal because he has not been consulted. And recall that the party has already suspended him, and they even saw in somebody to replace him at the National Working Committee.
So what's going on? I don't understand.
Well, I think what is basically happening now is if the appropriate authority, like especially if the INEC was part of the primary yesterday, I think that could actually fly. We saw the overwhelming, the landslide victory that actually Ize Iyamo had yesterday across the 18 local government. Susan was sharing the figures
27,000
to 3,000.
3,000.
That's
a
wide margin.
It's just like when we're talking about the total cases of COVID-19 in the country and the recovery.
Somebody was actually talking about the process yesterday being a perpetual subject of court litigations, because if Gaydom is actually saying, okay, they are going to set up another primaries, that means at the end of the day, if APC is not careful, they might have parallel candidate, and that could result to what happened in Rivers State and even Katsina, where they were unable to field in.
Well, my question of recent, I have been trying to understand, because even myself and Susan, we were talking about it this morning. What would be the fate of Obaseki eventually, even if he has already decamped to PDP?
You know, we actually raised that same question when we were talking about the certificate scandal that actually his name has been meddled into, which means even though if he wins from another platform, another party, APC can actually come from this angle and be like, okay, they challenge the authenticity of the certificate, that can actually make them lose the seat, just like what happened to APC in Bayelsa State. But I was sharing that with Victor, but he said there were a little discrepancy. There's a little bit difference compared to what happened in Bayelsa, but there are still bottlenecks surrounding Obaseki's emergence in PDP. I saw a court injunction yesterday that ordered him not to contest, that is not eligible. I saw another one that about 3 candidates from PDP are saying they won't step down for him.
I don't know. Maybe we should see a situation where, you see, it's the same thing. Now let's bring it back to life and reality.
Okay.
The thing is that before you take any action or any decision, I'm not advising anyone here, but I'm just saying, before you take any action or decision, try to look at it from different angles. Like Elvis always say, I would like to look at it from this angle.
And
so I would say, look at it from all the angles, first of all, before you try to start making your decision.
And then, in a nutshell, at the end of the day, I think governance is all about business of the people.
True.
So it's not a do or die affair. Nobody should force him or herself on the people. We just allow the people's will be the final decision of the day, so that if the people give you their mandate, you fly with it. If they don't give you their mandate, you just retrace your step and see how you can even contribute to whoever has the mandate, so that that could actually result to the development of the state.
True, like
that
you
should be
said,
paramount.
like you said, it's actually for the people. So anything you're doing it shouldn't be it's about yourself. It should be about the people, what the people would want. Do the people want you? No, yes. Do the people don't want you? Yes, no. Whatever it is. But then, like I was saying before you came in, I was talking about the anger thing. And like, before you take drastic decisions, actually check yourself. Be very sure that this decision you're about to take is really going to be.
So, to all the big players in our political cycle, we want a situation where we have a polls or elections conducted without bloodshed or bloodbath, and then devoid of all irregularities, so that at least we can have credible elections. Then we can term them free and fair.
Yeah, we wouldn't like to see a situation where people are coming out with videos talking about this. I think if they belong to any party or whatever, they should call them to book and say, no, please retract that video or go and make another statement. We don't want that. We understand that you're supporting us, but don't take it the wrong way and don't do it the wrong way.
True.
Anyway, there's still Daybreak Africa here on television, Nigeria. Let's go to the news desk and see what Susan Achin has for us this morning.
There are a lot of false information about the coronavirus. These are the facts. People of all ages can be affected by the coronavirus. However, older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as asthma, diabetes, heart diseases are more vulnerable to the disease. It is not for old people alone. Gargling salt and warm water or chewing garlic and ginger cannot prevent the virus. Drinking alcohol, hot lemon, palm oil or chloroquine will not kill the virus. The virus cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. Antibiotics do not work against the viruses. Antibiotics work only against bacteria. Boiling pineapple peels, lime and ginger does not kill the virus. Putting raw onions in rooms will not ward off the virus. Using or spraying Dettol, special oils and water all over your body cannot kill the virus. There is no scientific evidence that cooking, drinking, or eating any of these is an effective treatment for coronavirus. Do not self-medicate and take responsibility by sharing only verified messages from health authorities such as NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health, and WHO.
Good morning and welcome to AM News. I am Susan Achin. The World Health Organization called on Monday for a rapid increase in production of dexamethasone, a cheap steroid which has been shown to reduce deaths in critically ill coronavirus patients. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said demand had already surged after a British trial of the drug was publicized, but he was confident production could be ramped up. Some 2,000 patients were given the drug by researchers led by a team from Oxford University, and has reduced deaths by 35% among the sickliest, according to findings published last week. The WHO emphasized that dexamethasone should only be used for patients with severe or critical disease under close clinical supervision. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has backed Nigeria's former Finance Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala for the post of the World Trade Organization, WTO, Director General. In a statement by ECOWAS dated June 19, 2020, and shared by the Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema on Twitter, the regional body said it took the decision based on the authority of the heads of state and government of its member nations. The statement signed by the president of ECOWAS, Mahamadou Issoufou, comes as a big boost to Okonjo-Iweala's candidacy after the African Union had last week rejected her nomination. Okonjo-Iweala also took to her official Twitter handle to thank ECOWAS for backing her candidacy for the WTO top job. Now, Nigeria has recorded 675 new cases of the novel coronavirus. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) disclosed this in a tweet late Monday. The total number of cases in the country now stands at 20,919, and while 7,109 patients have been discharged out of the total infections, so far 525 deaths have been recorded. 298 Nigerians have departed the United Arab Emirates (UAE) for the country, with 17 others arriving in Abuja from Senegal on Sunday. This is according to a series of tweets on Monday by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema. According to Mr. Onyema, the Nigerians will arrive at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, via an Emirates airline. The minister explained that upon their arrival from the UAE, they will undergo the mandatory 14-day isolation as prescribed by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. Meanwhile, Pastor Osagie Izeyamo has emerged the winner of the All Progressives Congress APC primary election in Edo State. Chairman of the APC Primary Election Committee and Imo State Governor Senator Hope Uzodinma disclosed this on Monday in Benin City, the state capital Governors Forum, and Katsina State Governor Atiku Bagudu. Others at the meeting include Jigawa State Governor Abubakar Baduru and Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong. Briefing State House correspondent at the end of the meeting, Governor Bagudu revealed that they presented the position of the forum on the crisis in the party. And onto the entertainment scene, the music and entertainment circle in London and surrounding cities have woken up to a new model of personalized entertainment from Nigeria-born and award-winning disc jockey Oluwadamilare Okenla, popularly known as DJ Mind the Gap. A great on the vinyl, DJ Mind the Gap pioneered this creative music mix idea at the wake of the COVID-19 lockdown to celebrate and praise birthday celebrants. He performs for those that engage his service, streaming live from his London studio to the celebrants in their homes anywhere in the world. Such celebrants can have close family party and tune in live to DJ Mind the Gap, who sings spinning to the vibes from his turntable. Well, it's great to see innovative ideas popping up in these times. And that's it on AM News. I am Susan Achin.
Vision Nigerian, broadcast beyond boundaries. Nigerian, a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seats and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your #1 choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on Nigecomsat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future.
Alright, welcome back. That was news by Susan Achi in the AM News. Anyway, we have Across Africa for you, so we'll be right back and we'll get the news across Africa.
Welcome to News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. The Malawians head to the polls on Tuesday for a rerun of the May 2019 presidential election annulled by the court over massive fraud. 65-year-old former evangelical pastor and leader of the Malawi Congress Party, Lazarus Chakwera, is convinced that his time has come. For this new attempt, he has secured the support of Vice President Saulos Chilema, who is not contesting. Since the beginning of the era of democracy, his party has systematically lost all national elections. Peter Mutharika, the outgoing president and leader of the Democratic Progressive Party, has yet to make a statement. His first 5 years at the helm of affairs have also been marred by food and electricity shortages, a growing debt, and a sharp decline in economic growth. The cancellation of Malawi's 2019 presidential election due to fraud has plunged the country into a political crisis marked by protests often fraught with violence. Former Ivorian President Henry Konan Bedi will seek a return to the presidency in keenly awaited coup slated for October 2020. Bedi was president from 1993 until 1999 when he was overthrown in a coup. He will contest as flag bearer of the Democratic Party of Cote d'Ivoire. Bedi was president from 1993 until 1999 when he was overthrown in a coup. He will contest as flag bearer of Democratic Party of Cote d'Ivoire. In a statement to announce his return, his party officials urged him to stand as a candidate at the nomination convention slated for 26 July. One of his potential challengers, businessman Jean-Louis Billon, withdrew his candidacy in favor of Bedi. If he's handed the ticket, his main opponent for now will be outgoing Alassane Ouattara's party candidate, Prime Minister Amadou Kon Coulibaly. The 85-year-old said he will deploy the potential of young people if he's given another chance to lead the West African country. Bedi backed Ouattara in 2 previous elections, but withdrew his party from the ruling coalition in 2018 when Ouattara said a new constitution adopted in 2016 could allow him a 3rd term. A former Tanzanian foreign minister is set to challenge President John Magufuli for the ruling party's nomination for presidential candidate ahead of keenly awaited polls. Bernard Membe has asked the Central Committee of the governing Chama cha Mapinduzi (CCM) party to allow him challenge the incumbent for the party's candidature. The CCM party has governed the country for more than 4 decades since independence. His announcement comes after the ruling party in February announced he had been expelled, a move Member has rejected, saying the party's National Executive Committee is yet to communicate that to him. Since taking over the reins in 2015, John Magufuli has boosted government revenue, reformed the mining industry, and increased spending on roads, railways, and power projects. But opposition parties have accused him of cracking down on dissent and muzzling the media, allegation he denies. Magufuli last week picked up nomination forms to contest as a presidential candidate for the ruling party. Egypt has accused Ethiopia of warmongering on Sunday in a dispute over the latter's plan to start filling a huge newly built hydroelectric dam on the River Nile. The Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry was responding to comments by his Ethiopian counterpart in an interview with the Associated Press on Friday. He said, and I quote, "We find it strange that in his recent comments with Associated Press, he might speak about desire for war or warmongering, which I believe is inappropriate and is not the right tone to use. We have never used such language and we avoid issues of speculations. But certainly this is an issue that has a very severe consequence on the livelihoods and future and interests of Egypt, and we do everything possible to preserve our interests, as would any state," Shoukry said. Cairo wants the UN Security Council to intervene following failed negotiations to agree a deal on how the dam should be operated. Hanging over the dispute has been the fear it could escalate into a military conflict. Egypt, which relies for the Nile for more than 90% of its water resources, sees the issue as a potential existential threat. In Friday's interview, Ethiopia said what the Egyptians were doing was disproportionate, even for the sake of propaganda, let alone for going to war and conflict. Shoukry countered that Egypt had never threatened military action. Dozens of sky watchers gathered in parts of the world to witness Sunday's partial solar eclipse. A number of African and Asian countries were privileged to have witnessed the annular phenomenon. In Nairobi, the Kenya capital, observers saw only a partial eclipse as clouds blocked the sky for several seconds at the exact moment the moon should have almost hidden the sun. Susan Mobana, an astronomer with a traveling telescope, said, in quote, "Today is a very exciting day. There has been an eclipse. In Nairobi, it's a partial solar eclipse, but this kind of eclipse is an annular eclipse where you get the ring of fire, and we are not able to see that because we are not getting totality in Nairobi." Without the coronavirus pandemic, they could have organized a trip to Lake Magadi in southern Kenya, where the skies are generally clearer than over the capital. The annular eclipse happens every year or two and is visible for only about 2% of the Earth's surface. There will be a second solar eclipse over South America on December 14, 2020. That is the much we have for you on News Across Africa. Daybreak Africa continues shortly.
Alright, welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is still Daybreak Africa here on television in Nigerian. Anyway, we moved to the dailies this morning to see what we have on the newspaper. Elvis Uga.
Yes.
What do we have in the newspaper?
We have a whole lot of stories are flying around some of the national dailies. So let's first take a look at the Nation newspaper. And above the nameplate, we have Buratai orders commanders to raise stakes against insurgents. Beside that, Clark Nwodo 14 orders Sue Buhari over appointments. Bello heads North panel on security. Chukwueze makes first start for Villarreal. And then the banner headline we have from the Nation newspaper says, anti-Oshomole governors submit position to Buhari. APC NWC inaugurate bombs as Gaidon's replacement. And then I'll take this last one before we move on to the next paper. COVID-19, federal government laments setback in battle.
Wow.
Truly, if you see all that the federal government has actually put in place to see that we record some gen strike, but irreversibly or reversibly, we now start seeing spike in the cases, the number of cases.
I'm telling you. Anyway, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper this morning. The big headline here: APC Peace Panel gets 170 petitions, blames COVID-19 for delayed sittings. Buhari assures APC governors of end to party Syria crisis. Well, we hope to see that early enough. Protesters demand NWC dissolution emergency NEC meeting. After suspension, Gaidon writes INEC says Edo primary illegal.
You know, we talked about that earlier on. And then still talking about the NEC meeting that the NWC have been trying to put up, and they were blaming
yesterday was in the news as well.
They were blaming COVID-19 for the inability for that meeting to go on.
Yeah.
But we're looking at what happened to a virtual way of holding meetings, just like the way it's been adopted worldwide.
I don't know.
So I think they should just think of exploring that option so that they can actually...
I think there are lots of options. I really feel there are no excuses. There are lots of options now.
Especially that it seems that there is fire on the mountain. They need to convey that meeting so that they could just address some of the grievances in the party and harmonize themselves.
So that they can quench the fire. All right. Above the nameplates, federal government decides on interstate travel ban orders next week. So we hope to see the outcome of that. Beside that, Wadume, again, killer soldiers not in court, judge absent. Wow, that's on page 11 of the Punch newspaper. And I'll take this, we won't impose Ondo deputy governor on aspirants. That's Secondus, that's on page 14 of the newspaper. And I'll take this last one. Ogun Council official assaulting woman in viral video arrested. That's on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. Well, it's a good thing that the person has been found and arrested there.
Yeah, it's true.
So you might want to get a hold of that story on the Punch newspaper this morning, and that's all for the Punch newspaper.
All right, let's take a quick look at the Daily Sun, and I would like to take this headline here that is talking about the demolition of Nigerian High Commission building in Ghana with the caption, FG summons Ghanaian envoy over demolition of High Commissioner's home. That story can be found on the page 26 of the Daily Sun. Beside the nameplate, we have this sad report here. Strange death hit COVID-19 team. 20 ad hoc personnel die. That is on the page 27 of the Daily Sun as well. And then we have this. Southern leader Sue Buhari, AGF, demand 50 billion naira over alleged marginalization. And that story can be found on page 3. And we're actually discussing that offset. That what would a 50 billion naira be used for if eventually the suit goes through and they happen to win the case. Because I saw that the whole issue was all about appointment, but Panel was trying to let us know that they actually made reference to all the borrowings that have been ongoing, that just a little percentage is being channeled to infrastructural development in this part of the country where these people come from. All right, let's still take a look at more headlines from the Daily Sun. Buhari, governors plot solution as protesters ground APC secretariat. Angry members demand NWC dissolution. ECOWAS endorses Okonjo-Iweala for WTO DG, that is World Trade Organization. I think there's been a whole lot of issues surrounding the nomination of Okonjo-Iweala, with some people saying she shouldn't go and others saying she should go. I think I love the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari has always backed her, especially
she has always been backing her up, and I always love to see that.
If you see her prospect and then her antecedent has actually spoken well for, you understand.
All right, let's take a look at this day newspaper this morning. The big headline here: with a friend like Wike, Obaseki meets his PDP's Waterloo. Almost. Port Harcourt restrains Edo governor. Talks continue. One aspirant steps down, others refuse. Party extends date for sale of nomination forms for Ondo deputy governor. That's all on page 8 of this day newspaper. Above the nameplate, APC governors meet Buhari. Izenyamu emerges party's candidate. We were talking about that earlier in the program this morning. Seek emergency meetings of party organs. Party members protest. Call for dissolution of NWC. Well, NWC seems to be the headline today.
That's actually talking about the APC's National Working Committee.
Anyway, above that, COVID-19, federal government seeks to criminalize non-wearing of face mask. Well, this is not the first time we're hearing that people will be penalized if they're not putting on their face masks in public areas.
Yes.
So if it's still coming to the news again, that means people have not been putting on their face masks and nobody has been doing anything to them. Pushes for law to punish violators. 675 new cases push tally to 20,919. Anyway, that's it for this day newspaper this morning.
We have a lot of interesting stories there, but I think I like the fact that the story took out time to talk largely on the issues of COVID-19, because we've been having increase in the number of cases on a daily these days, and it calls for serious concern.
20,000, but this morning we have, as of this morning, we have 7,109 recoveries. So I think we're progressing with the recoveries as well. You know, was it yesterday I was telling you?
We were talking about the wide margin between the total cases and the recoveries.
And I was also talking about the way that the numbers of recoveries have been coming higher day in, day out in the past 2 weeks now. And it's quite encouraging. But I would love to see a situation whereby it's 20,000 plus, and then we have about 15,000 plus recoveries. That would be so exciting. All
right, still coming from the newspaper review segment of Daybreak Africa on television Nigeria. Let's take a look at headlines from the Daily Times with a banner headline which says Southern leaders slam 50 billion naira suit against Buhari. That story can be found on the page 2, and we have some other part of the story written below it. Says President's appointment since 2015 in breach of 1999 Constitution federal character principle. Demand reversal of lopsided appointment as court fixes July 10 for hearing. If you recall the guest we had on Democracy Day, he talked about the appointment as well, which is one way we can actually tackle the wave of insecurity or agitations in the country.
So he shed light on that. He said if we could see that the government is trying to even embrace this kind of holistic approach of
towards appointment.
I think other people will actually pick from it and then learn, and then probably there will be more harmony in the nation.
Yeah, he talked about that. Okay, we still have more headlines coming from the Daily Times. Below the picture story, FG summons Ghanaian envoy over attacks on Nigerian mission. Beside that, don't be afraid testing for COVID-19. PTF tells Nigerians Southeast must produce next president in 2023. That is coming from Nwobodo. And then we have this story beside the nameplate, which is actually written in a very small font that's talking about COVID-19. Plateau threatens reimpose of lockdown. Ordinarily, with the number of cases we've been recording
these days,
in few days, it's not. It's not surprising to see this coming from Plateau. And when you took a story that talked about a reopening of ban on interstate travel,
yes, by next week.
But ordinarily, I think if I should predict, I'm going to see a situation like what happened with the U-turn made across some different states concerning the reopening of religious centers and school because of the number of cases. So it could be applicable to the lifting of the ban on interstate travel as well.
Right. I think it still boils down to the various meaning of schools. Federal government tells governors.
As if I saw this coming.
Prophets, preacher. No state in Nigeria is free of the virus. That's coming from the PTF. Ondo records 80 cases in a week. That's coming from Akeredolu. You can get a hold of all of that on page 3. Beside that, demolition of embassy in Ghana reveals Nigeria's, I can't really say the word here, but I can see under Buhari's regime. That's coming from the PDP, like I knew. All right, below that, governors to review FAAC deductions, loan restructuring, doctors strike Wednesday. That's on page 2. Beside that, no Hajj for international pilgrim.
Some of these states that have been saying they are free have not carried out enough testing. He even went ahead to say no country in the world
By saying that they don't have COVID-19. We know of other states that said that they got people from the other states to come to their states and they all tested positive for the virus. So it goes down to say no state is left unaffected.
True.
All states in the country are actually affected no matter what they are doing. So the only thing that we're praying for now is that everybody understands that this is their responsibility and know what they're supposed to do. Let me take this last headline here. APC governors want party organs to meet. Party youths want NWC dissolved.
Wow.
Now talking about dissolved.
That's
all for the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, let's take a quick look at headlines from the Guardian newspaper. And the banner headline we have from this publication says, investors shun bank shares despite 260 billion naira Q1 profit. Wow, what a huge one for people that really want to go into stock exchange. And then below that we have Ize Iyamus gets a APC ticket. Towns Obase to party. We talked about that earlier on, right way to use
talking
there.
about
That's more like taunting.
The supposed accused blame bad egg coming
living,
back to the good eggs.
I think this paper used the right word. Okay, I have these interesting headlines here. No state is coronavirus free. NCDC insists. Wow. We just talked about that.
Yeah, we just talked about
we just talked about that. And then please arrest Guba aspirant impersonating Kyari's widow. Wow, from which state?
What?
A gubernatorial aspirant that has been impersonating Kyari's widow.
Something is happening.
Something is happening.
Something
You want to know which aspirant from which of the states? Just pick a copy of the Guardian newspaper. And then we have this interesting one as well coming from Ondo State. Resign honorably now, Ondo APC tells deputy governor. I think I would love to see interpretation of the law in this case. Recall that the deputy governor decamped to PDP, and he came to power under the platform of APC. Is that the reason why they're telling him to resign?
My question:
then, if that is the case, what will not happen to Edo State?
Exactly. You just brought it out of my mouth, because I want to say I would love to see a situation whereby this disturbance that they're giving this man, the deputy governor of Ondo State, because he was in APC and they campaigned to be. I would love to see where it's actually going to be played back into Edo State as well.
I think this is not the first time this has
happened.
Is
it in the law?
That's why I said we want to see the court interpretation of all of this. All right, that's the much we have from the Guardian newspaper. You can pick a copy of all of the papers we took headlines from to get the details and even more from there.
All right, taking a look at the Business Day news. Naira debts in unpaid invoices, owed and bets. Inside story: ECOWAS endorses Okonjo Iweala for WTO Director General, rallies more support.
Wow. Quite a good one.
Well, in advance, congratulations to her. All right. That's all for the newspaper review this morning with myself and Elvis Oga. So let's go to the health desk and see what they have for us this morning.
Many see smiling simply as an involuntary response to things that bring you joy or laughter. While this observation is certainly true, what most people overlook is that smiling can be just as much a voluntary response as a conscious and powerful choice. It's another exciting episode of Healthy Living. I am Mary Bernard, and I will be telling you some health benefits of smiling. Countless scientific studies have confirmed that a genuine smile is generally considered attractive to others around us. Other studies have shed light on how this act of smiling can elevate your mood and the mood of those around you. Still, others have found a strong link between good health and longevity and smiling. Most importantly, studies have shown that just the act of smiling, whether the result of real joy or an act, can have both short and long-term benefits on people's health and well-being. Now let's consider some benefits of smile to one's health. Smiling makes us feel good. Studies have shown that smiling releases endorphins, natural painkillers, and serotonin. Together, these three neurotransmitters make us feel good from head to toe. Not only do these natural chemicals elevate your mood, they also relax your body pain. So you see, smiling is a natural drug. Again, smiling improves the mood. Smiling can boost your mood when you're feeling blue and may be beneficial for people struggling with anxiety and depression. It is found that making yourself smile when you're feeling down helps improve your mood and increases positive thoughts. So if you're having a bad day, try smiling anyway. It may lead to a genuine smile and lift your spirit. Smiling relieves stress. Smiling not only helps to prevent us from looking tired, worn down, and overwhelmed, but can actually help reduce stress. Believe it or not, smiling can reduce stress, even if you don't feel like smiling or even know that you're smiling. Smiling is contagious. Yes, it is scientifically proven that smiles are contagious. How many smiles have been described as having the power to lighten up the room? While it's certainly a beautiful sentiment, it carries a hint of truth. Smiling not only has the power to elevate your mood, but it can also change the mood of others and make things happier. Smiling makes you look younger. Not only can smiling make you look attractive, and can also make you look more youthful. The muscles we use to smile also lift the face, making a person appear younger. So instead of opting for a facelift, just try smiling your way through the day. You will look younger and feel better. Longevity. It's found that smiling and positive emotions are associated with increased lifespans. The effect of a good smile extends past just the exterior looks. People and much more keeps you healthy longer. Smiling leads to better relationships. Have you noticed that you're drawn to people who smile a lot? Those who smile are perceived as being more likable than those who don't. Being likable makes it easier to build and maintain a better relationships with people, which is more important for your overall health and well-being. So keep a smile on your face to help create stronger, healthier social bonds. Smiling and laughter are beneficial for your mind, body, and overall well-being. Even if you are feeling blue, crack a smile and keep the numerous health benefits of smiling. Stay away from depression, stress, and worry by putting on a smile. That's the much we have for you on today's episode on Healthy Living. I am Mary Bernard. Until I come your way again, keep smiling.
My sister, my brother, what's happening there? Once you're a Christian, the best thing in this country now, many people will say they are Christians, but they are not professing Christ. They don't have Christ in them. And they say, when you watch them, they were saying like, we know Christ, we know Christ.